Okay, so this is part 2 of me trying to make something out of the fabric. I am thinking of making some sort of dress out of it. I have also colored it, and all I really have to do now is let the fabric dry and kind of sew it together. I was thinking of kind of being done within at least maybe 2 weeks. Maybe 3. Let's see if it takes that long, or if it takes longer, or if I manage to finish the project. So yeah, that's, I don't know, part 2. Here's the video. Okay, so right now I'm just kind of putting everything together, the last pieces. I have 2 big pieces left. This is the second to last one that I am sewing together with the rest of the fabric. There's my cat again. He decided to watch me sew everything together, so he's kind of like in the way, but you know. Then I move him away. Then I sew. Yeah, I'm just sewing everything together while watching some Minecraft video. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if I did refill the metal things. I know what they're called in Swedish. I don't know what they're called in English. Also, that's the last one, I think. No wait, did I have 3 pieces left? I had a few pieces left that I decided to put together. So yeah, I'm just sewing everything together while kind of trying my best to make sure it doesn't get stuck again. I did figure out the problem, kind of. I guess I'm not sure. Also, that's the biggest piece, or at least the piece with the smallest things attached to it, with the most fabric sewed together. Anyway, the problem that I kind of found out, I don't know. That's my cat again, still trying to get up. So I figured out that it was kind of just getting stuck within it. The bottom thread, the top thread got stuck in the bottom thread over and over again, so I decided that maybe turning the fabric while the needle is down might be causing it, so I decided to try and stop doing that so much, and it seemed to work, so that might have been the problem. Here I'm pinning. Yeah, I have most of my fabric on the chair I'm sitting on, so this is another piece of fabric I'm sewing together here. My cat keeps interrupting me. He decided to sit in a box, so I decided to record out of it. And since he was messing up my thread because he was biting on the top thread, I decided to sew it by hand, because then I would be sewing a bit more controlled, and I would not have a cat trying to bite the thread all the time. So this did help. This did work a bit better. That's my I did not expect the video to be in the video anyway. I'm just sewing everything together there. I took some more thread because I ran out and needed more, and then I dropped the needle I was putting the thread into. That's why I was on the floor kinda looking for it. That's my cat again. See how he's on the floor and not trying to bite whatever thread comes from the sewing machine? Yeah, it's amazing. He's currently sitting behind me, licking his tail. Anyway, I'm sewing everything together. You can see some pins where I have pinned the fabric together. So I sew somewhat over that, and then I get rid of the needle, the pin, whatever it's called, whatever you call it, and then I continue around. As I continued, I got a little lazy, so I decided to just kind of make bigger sewing stitches, but like it's still holding together, so it's fine. Besides, I'm not selling this. I'm gonna wear this myself, so it doesn't matter how good or bad it looks or how good or bad it is made. It's just mine. So like, I don't care how good or bad it is. Besides, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just sewing. Okay, I know sewing things together works. So I'm just sewing it together. There I am trying to put more thread into the needle. Also, I basically try to make it long so I don't have to get more thread over time. And also my cat tried to sit in my lap on top of the fabric. He usually sits in my lap, so like that's normal, but while I'm sewing, that's a bit, you can't sit there. He was on the table, and then I looked away for a second, and he tried to sit on the fabric again. He has been trying to sit on this fabric, and I don't understand why. Maybe, like, it's not soft. It has multiple different textures, and like he wants to sit on everything, including me. And oh no, he found my cheese. I have those baby bell cheeses next to me, and he's trying to eat them. So yeah, I'm just sewing everything together, sewing the last pieces. I'm also pulling the fabric closer to me as I'm sewing it, and then I just let it sit in my lap. Also, to get my cat to leave me alone, I gave him a small piece of cheese. It did work. He's not kind of trying to bite my cables now. So yeah, I'm just sewing. There's my cat again. And there I'm done. Also, I put the fabric in a box because when I'm like not looking, he's trying to sit on it because he knows he won't get, I don't know, made fun of. Also, I'm making hot chocolate. That's what I got for breakfast. Kind of, I guess. I just got something to drink so that I would have some sort of energy to make this. Here I'm measuring the fabric to see how it looks around me. I decided that just having the fabric slightly sideways and downwards would make it a bit better. Here I'm trying to decide between different buttons. I have a lot of different buttons that my dad's sister, aunt, I don't know what it's called, but a family member got me all the fabric and also got me a lot of buttons. That's my cat again. Okay, so we're going to look for a bucket of some sort. It's very dark. There we go. I don't think there are buckets in here. Yeah, no. Probably not. I mean that one, but it's filled. I don't know what he's looking at. I mean, I could use this one. So yeah, I decided to use that bucket. I just put all the things somewhere inside it in a different bucket thing. Also, here I'm deciding between what colors to use because I have decided to dye the fabric. And I had mostly blue, so I used most of my blue. The rest of the colors that I had were almost out, so I decided on using blue. Also, I'm just pouring a lot of water on top of the color because that one part got a bit much color on it, so I'm kind of diluting the color by pouring a lot of water on it, and then I'm gonna let that soak overnight and hopefully it will look somewhat better. Now it's basically just gonna be me sorting between different buttons and pearls. I also have a kind of watch, pocket watch. I tried to figure out why it's not working, and I found the problem, but I don't have the solution. Here I'm taking most of the things out. I have white pearls that I'm putting in that kind of gum container. And then I have more translucent or transparent. I don't know what word it is, but something like that. Kind of pearls in that one. And then the little bag, I put the smallest pearls. Also, the first small bag I had a hole in it, so I decided to switch to a different small bag. Here I'm sorting between all different kinds of buttons, trying to match the shape. I don't really care much about the color, not right now at least. I'm more concerned about like if it's bumpy, if it has like sharper corners, if it's flat, if it's, I don't know, making some other sort of shape. So I'm just sorting them with shapes and not with colors. that part, those buttons were like some of these buttons took a lot of space because there were a lot of them, so I got small plastic bags for them, so I'm just putting them in there. And then we have the buttons that don't really have that many different ones. I just put in these plastic kind of holder thing. They were originally for stamps, like stamps you use to like seal wax or whatever it's called. Yeah, there's a lot of buttons. Some of them still had thread within them, so I got rid of the thread. Some of them were also a little broken or melted, so they got their own bag, which you will see at the end, I think. I think they got their own bag, or they got one of those plastic other containers. Oh yeah, the biggest pearls I put in the small rectangular box because they fit in that one. Most of the buttons that I find quite pretty, I put in the container to the right. And while I'm sorting, I'm using the thing in the middle to sort everything. And then when I think I'm done with the sorting, I just put most of the buttons into in the other containers. These were all different, the ones on the table, so I wasn't sure where to put them, so I decided to just kind of put them all in one container and hope for the best. Here I feel like I'm kind of done, so I'm kind of moving it to the next container and then realize, oh, I don't have enough space. Then we just put some things together, some other things, and those that look closest to each other get their own little thing. Here I also decided I might as well use this little sorting plastic thing as well, so I just put them in there. Most of the ones that don't have a counterpart just get grouped together. Now I'm trying to see what looks best and what works the best. Here I'm just putting every bag in there, in the big round circular thing. Here I had small, like, charms. We had stars, moons, and sun things, and that's it. Yeah, so there isn't much to update. Next week the fabric will most likely be dry. At least hopefully it will be. But that's about it. Yeah, see you in the next part. Bye.